Terry Cooper. I'm serving as the president of the National RV Inspectors Association, but also I work very strongly, and I'm working as the managing director of the National RV Training Academy. Now, those of you that are familiar with the program that we have, this is part of the professional services training track that we have. It starts out in the RV inspection portion. We start out as a level 1 inspector. And if you've looked at the previous segment, you understand that a level 1 is someone who's going to be doing inspections for banks, lending institutions, extended service agreement companies. And so that's usually a very short, maybe you would do an inspection, it might take you an hour, 2 hours to get it done. But so many of you want to go further. You want to do that home inspection for the RV. And so what we've done is we brought Howard with us. Howard Jarvis is the lead instructor for the level 2 inspector. This is the advanced. Now, I'm going to ask him to kind of walk us through what you would go through when you would come and spend the next 5 days with him and his team as you go through become an advanced RV inspector. Howard, I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. I know you've got a ton of things going on, but thank you, sir, for doing it.
Thank you, Mr. Cooper. Appreciate it.
Okay, so we're talking level 2.
Okay.
The guy's finished his level 1, or this lady's finished, which, by the way, we need lady inspectors. It's amazing how many calls we get for those. So
yes,
we need to make sure that everybody understands this is not a guy thing by any stretch of the imagination.
absolutely. And in fact, in this latest class, we have several women who are going through, and their actual husband partners are going to be their assistants. They are not there, so the women are going to be the inspectors, and that's great because we do have women clients who want to deal with women inspectors. So yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right, kind of give me a little overview for everyone that's with us. What are we looking at as a level 2 inspector? What does this person look like? What are they doing? What is their skill level? When they come out of this class, what do you expect them to do?
Okay, so we want somebody who's inquisitive, somebody who's also physically able to get on a roof, handle a ladder, crawl underneath, because this is a job. I mean, doing an inspection is physical, so that's a pretty good requirement. We want people who are people-oriented because we are establishing relationships with clients. We actually, as we are inspectors, but we're also coaches.
That's true.
We are coaching those people through a process, and because a lot of our clients know absolutely nothing about RVs. And so it is our job not only to do that home inspection for the RV, but to coach them through, and in the process not only give them information about that RV, but to educate them as well. So that is a lot of what we're teaching within the level 2 course, not just the mechanics of the process, but also the business side of that as well, including risk management. Answering how to properly answer that question of, hey, okay, Mr. Inspector, would you buy that RV?
Everyone asks that question, don't they?
And they do it 10 different ways. They'll try to trick us. They want us to give them that information, which we can't do, and we talk about that in the class, but we need to be able to handle those risk management issues as well, so that we don't put our business at risk, okay?
Right. And folks, you have to understand there's some code of ethics that we have to work with. And something like just Howard just suggested and was talking about, we encounter this all the time. People want you to tell them, okay, would you buy this one? They want someone to validate their decision either to buy or not to buy. But here's the thing. One of the key things we have to remember in this code of ethics is that if you do an inspection on this unit, you cannot work on it, you cannot service it for 1 year. And the reason why that was set up is so that way we keep this bias out of the picture. And the old saying that, you just want to make sure you don't have a dog in this hunt, this is what we're after. And so Howard and his team have done a great job of walking you through it. Okay, Howard, so they show up. Day 1, what do you take them through?
Okay, so they've done the level 1 training. To be an RV inspector, you don't have to know how to repair the thing. What we need them to do is take that level 1, whether they did it online or whether they took the RV Tech course. We need to be sure they understand how to operate those systems so that we can test them, okay? Because we're looking at life safety systems, we're looking at electrical systems, we're looking at water systems. So we need that basic knowledge. So we're going to spend that first day going through that, talking code of ethics, standards of practice, setting the stage for the next day, which is when now we're going to start looking at what is the process we're going to use to actually do that inspection. So we have to start introducing software.
Very good.
We have to start introducing the tools that they're going to collect that data with, whether that be electronic or handwritten. Build a mock inspection so that we can get them used to the software. And then Wednesday we're going to get outside, Day 3, typically a Wednesday, we're gonna get outside, and now we're gonna start to take what we learned in day 1 and 2 and start to examine an RV. And we're gonna start to apply that, fill those, get that data down so that we can now start to create a physical report, and this is what's gonna go out to the client. Day 4, now this gets real, it's a full mock inspection on either their own RV that they've brought, or they've traded with another person. Maybe they have a motorhome, they wanna look at a fifth wheel, vice versa. So we mix it up. We wanna make it real, so when they're here, this is real life. This is what it's gonna be like out there in the field. So they spent 8 hours that day, 4th day, going through and doing a full mock inspection, all the tests, all the safety things, everything. At the end of that day into the next day, they're going to be creating that physical report, the report that would actually go through to the client using the HomeGauge software. And then we review those reports on Friday. Everybody gets a chance to show their work and what they've done, which is really interesting because the guy who owns the RV knows everything that's wrong with it. Did the inspector find it? And then we're going to talk verbiage. What are they saying? Did they tell the client what it is, where it is, and what's wrong with it? Because if we can do that, then we're able to help that client who knows nothing about an RV understand the problems with it.
Well, you know, what's been amazing to me is how many customers that we have come to these inspectors and say, I found this unit in California and I'm living in Massachusetts, or they're living totally out of state, and they need somebody to put eyes on it. I mean, and like you said, this person's got to come in and write that report in such a way to where whoever's reading it understands it.
So part of that process early on with my clients is I have to talk with them and not speak Arvanese with them, but make it real so that I craft my reports to my clients is what we also teach to our students. We need to craft the reports so that they're going to understand it. So when they get this 50, 100-page report, that it is what they paid for. And we're talking anywhere from $300 to $1,000 that we're charging a client for this report. So it is our calling card. It's what it is the magic. It is what the client will remember you from, and that is the magic that we found in the inspection business.
That's so true. And folks, the thing you have to keep in mind is that these inspections take place all over the country. And so if you're in an area that's very busy, it's very much of an RV business, a state that has a lot of RV business going on, you can stay very busy. Now, if you're someone who says, well, I'm going to live out here in the boonies, you can't expect much work there. So you've got to go where the business is. So you've got to think of this thing as a home inspection, but this is for an RV. That's the key thing to the whole thing. Now, Howard, who gets this report? When it's all said and done, when you finish it, who gets the report?
The report goes to the client, the person that paid you for that report. Now, could this be an RV buyer or an RV seller? Depends on who your client is. So for our business model, we seem to do more inspections for the person that's going to be the person that's going to purchase this RV from either an RV dealership or a private seller, whatever. But we do get folks that are selling RVs and they want that report so that they can prove to a potential buyer that this RV is as they say it is. So, whoever's paying us, they are our client, they get the report.
So the other individuals, do they have automatic access to that report?
That will be up to the client, my client, to determine whether that person should get that report or not. And if you'd like, I'll share just a very recent story. We did an inspection for a woman out of Georgia, and the RV was here in Texas, where we are right now at the training academy. We drove 67 miles up into the sticks of Hawkins, Texas. And the woman was not able to be there, my client, but the owner was, and set that RV up for us, put it on a site with full hookups, water, sewer, and electric, which we need in order to do a really good job with that RV for the inspection. Pam and I spent 6.5 hours with that RV. We generated a report that was 106 pages with 110 photos, 13 videos, and a lot of information. 2014 Class A gas vehicle, and we found a host of things wrong with that. Enough so that she stopped that buying process and said, I need to think about this a little bit further. If I can get the owner to repair those things that are wrong with it, I would be interested in moving forward, but not at $80,000, maybe something more like $60,000.
And that was her comment?
That was her comment.
Okay.
And
did she ask you a price on that? Did she ask you any opinion as far as?
She did not, but she can take that report and she can create a repair list and send that out to a technician, a dealership, an RV tech, and generate cost of what it might be to repair those things. or she can ask the owner directly, you fix those things, I will have my inspector come back and re-inspect, and then if everything is up to par, then I will go ahead and buy that RV.
Okay, which raises another question. So you've done the original inspection, and you come back and do the inspection for it again. What's involved? What do you charge? What do you cover? What do you look at when you're doing that second inspection?
Okay, so I'm gonna go back. Now, in this particular case, it's a 3-hour round trip drive, and it's probably gonna be another couple of hours to reevaluate and reassess the list that she's gonna give me, the things that she wants taken care of. But while I'm there, I've also got to step back in there and reevaluate those life safety issues.
There you go.
Because if that has gone to a dealership and they've played with the propane, they've messed with the LP detector, all those things, I have to go back in and do what I did before and verify that those things are as they were. And then so verify the list from the client, verify the safety items, be sure everything is as it was, then she can make her determination whether she wants to purchase that.
So in that situation, what do you see as far as your costing? Is it a certain percentage of the first inspection, or is it would be a re-inspect like it was a brand new unit, like a new inspection?
I would not charge her the full rate, but we're going to be in about a little less than half of the original inspection fee.
Okay. I mean, and really that's a good way. But you know, a lot of people don't realize that when you leave and you come back, that's a whole new RV.
Yes, it
and
is.
I like the idea. And this is something that, and I'll be honest with you, when Howard and the team were putting this together, they came back and said, we need to talk about doing these re-inspects, because a lot of customers are wanting us to come back. They see the inspector, they see this level 2 inspector as being the expert that understands this unit, and who better to look at it?
That's right.
But like you said, you got to take a look at those life safety issues, because you never know what was done to that unit.
That's right.
And there's risk involved, and we need to make sure we cover that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the software that you're using to do this inspection. This is
Okay.
not a piece of paper.
No.
This is electronic. And folks, this is what's amazing to me. Did you bring your companion?
Mm-hmm. I did.
All right. Can you show everybody? Hold that up and let everybody see what this is, the testing device. And he's able to load as he inspects, record videos, take pictures. It's high tech. Because if you spent hours upon hours doing this report on paper, and then you got to go over here and transcribe it over to your electronic version, you're wasting a lot of time. You need to move on. You probably have other inspections waiting for you.
Okay, so what I do when I'm out in the field is we have templates for motorhomes and travel trailers that we use that have very specific items, and of course we have different levels of inspection that we offer. This is our what I call our premier inspection, and so I have the ability. I've got 19 sections here, and I'm not quite sure that we're going to be able to pick this up on camera, but there's 19 sections. And I go through section by section, and I'm able to, let's just open up, let's open up roof exterior here, and I've got a bunch of different items here, and I can rate those acceptable, fair, or poor, not inspected, or not present. And if I rate something as fair or poor, I can go in and put a picture, a video, and I speak a comment to it, which goes directly into the report.
So cool.
It is really makes it very streamlined. It's much simpler than a clipboard and a scope sheet, which we were using, trying to write things down because you can miss something. And I've done that before. I don't miss things here because I can get everything. It's right here. So once I've generated this whole report this is actually the template that was used for this last inspection, I can upload this to the cloud, download it into my laptop, and then I go ahead and clean it up. Because I can't put arrows and things in the pictures that I've taken, but I can go ahead and do that on my laptop. Once that's all done, then I go ahead and I send the client an HTML link, not a PDF report, but I give them a link to that report in the cloud. Then they are able to interact with that report, watch the video, listen to the slide squeaking, listen to the awning making noise, listen to the jacks go up and down, all the things that you can't really describe verbally, but are absolutely perfect in video. Okay?
That's what you want.
That's what they need to see.
Because if they're 2,000 miles away, they're just guessing. Because let's face it, when you read that ad on that national magazine, or you see it on Craigslist, or one of those things like that, this is the cream puff. This is the perfect one. Well, let me just tell you, when you get out there, some of them are far from.
Mr. Cooper, the pictures that were on this RV was out of RV Trader. The pictures that were in RV Trader was when it was brand new. How do I know that? The tires were all slicked up. The sticker was still in the windshield. Inside, there were still the tags hanging, and you could tell. So all the pictures that were there were brand new when it was brand new. It did not look like that when I saw it.
Sure.
okay?
And now, switching this around a little bit, let's say you're a seller. We've already had situations where the sellers would come in and have someone do an inspection for them, so now they've got the report. Because you think about it, and when I heard this, because we had one of the inspectors bought an RV, and he was talking about, I was just inundated with ads. I think he had like 10 or 15 units that he was looking at, and he had to narrow it down. And what did he do? He narrowed it down to one that had an inspection report because it told him what he needed. And everybody said, well, my units is just as good. How do you know?
Absolutely. So you can go to RV Trader and find 10 units that are almost identical, maybe different floor plan and color. But if there's one in there that out of the 10 that's got that inspection report, and it says there were things found, but I've got the receipts that show what was repaired, which one are they going to be more interested in? They're going to be interested in the inspected one.
Okay, so now we've been talking about used. Now here's the thing, here's a statistic that we need to hang on to. In the RV world, of the used units that are out there, 60% of the used units that are being sold are being bought and sold on the open market from one individual to another. And they may never go through a dealership, not even close. So what happens is the buyer's buying something based upon the word of the seller. But this inspection report is a true equalizer and tells you what's going on. And so what happens is that if you get this report, you know what's going on and you have an opportunity to see. What we have found here recently, we're having more and more people come to us and say, I'm buying a new unit. Would you inspect it for me? We never saw that market. Not when we got started in this
We
thing.
missed it completely. We just thought we were going to be focusing on used. And from personal experience, I'm almost of the opinion that the new ones at this point now almost have more issues than the used ones, as well as life safety issues.
Oh dear.
So we were, have another story, okay? We were up in Elkhart this summer doing some classes and doing some factory tours and things in the area, and we got a call for an inspection. And so this was a Keystone, Montana, that was at a dealership, local dealership. The gentleman had purchased it a few months earlier. It was sitting there waiting for him to pick it up because he was going to transport that thing 165 miles from Elkhart down outside Indianapolis. It was going to be his 2-week home out of the month when he travels back and forth from Washington to Indiana to do his business. So sounds logical. So, but he read the Montana owners' blogs and realized that I probably should have this thing looked at. So he contacted us. Pam and I again spent 6 hours with this RV. We found this was a 2017. We saw it had been manufactured 6 months earlier. We kept that RV there for 9 more days with major items like an AC unit that had to be replaced because it was squeaking, noise in the bunk room floor, so you'd step on it and go, which when the client watched the video goes, that is not going to fly. So they basically had to take the gray tank and the plumbing out of the bay area, the main storage bay, and fix that floor and then put all that back again. And then we had sealant issues, gate valves that were leaking. For those of you who don't know what a gate valve is, you pull that gray valve, water comes out, you push it, and it stops. Well, I was outside underneath the tires investigating the DOT codes, the date of birth of those tires, and Pam's in there checking the water, and I'm now starting to get a bath because that water's leaking right on me. So it was things like that. 9 more days at the dealership. What if the client had purchased that, paid for them to transport that RV down there? Now he finds these hosts of problems. Now he's got to pay to have it transported back and be without his home that he's counting on to run his business.
So true. And so frustrating. And honestly, we didn't buy these units to have problems. We're buying them to have a good time. We have a specific thing. Like you said, this guy's got it for 2 weeks out of the year. All right, so what else do we need to let folks know? Why would you want to be an RV inspector?
If somebody is passionate, they like RVing, they like helping people, they're passionate about, and they want to see the RV industry continue to grow. And quite honestly, the dealers are busy, and we understand that. And we're not knocking the dealerships. We're not saying they're not doing their job. They're just busy. There's not enough techs in the world, and which is the National RV Training Academy is going to be working to help solve that problem. But they're just busy. So they need somebody else. They need a third-party independent eye on that, and that's what we're here to do, is to help those dealerships so that we can send people out so they can have good experiences. So if that's what you want to do and that's what you like, Everybody that came into the NRVIA that was just interested in the money, they're long gone. It's work.
Yeah, it
But
is.
if anybody who's looking for a business, I want to find somebody who's passionate about the RV industry, because there are going to be days when it's tough. But if you're passionate about what you're doing and you're passionate about helping people, you're going to have a great time. Pam and I have a great time in our business. We love what we're doing.
Now, let me speak very directly to some of you that are looking about maybe leaving corporate America. You want to do something for yourself. This is not a franchise. We always laugh about it, say it looks like a franchise because it has so many of the support systems that a franchise has. But when you come in and become a member of the National RV Inspectors Association, you have the support of the association, helping you with the inspector locator, knowledge. We have a conference once a year, and the purpose of all of that is to support you. Now, you can make as much money as you want, and you make it as little, part-time, full-time. And we even have folks that are living on the road as work campers, traveling around. And so they pick and choose when they want to work. They activate their profile on the locator there on the nrvia.org site. And other people are working full-time, and they say, maybe I'll have a fixed operation. So here's an opportunity for you. And the key is that, if, like Howard said, folks, if you're looking for an armchair job, this is not it. It's work. There's no doubt about it. There's going to be some days it's hot out there. There's going to be some days it's going to be a little cold. But I'll tell you what, when you get the note from the individual, the thank you note from the person that says, this is the best decision I ever made, and they tell you thank you, and you can feel that it's a heartfelt thank you, it really does make all the difference in the world. And we've had some great success stories. So I'm going to encourage you to join us. Come through the program. If you do nothing more than take the level 1 RV maintenance course, then you get the basic core knowledge, the foundation for the RV industry. But I'm going to tell you, we're going to talk to you, and we're going to encourage you to take the next step. Spend another 5 days with Howard and his team, so that way you can become a level 2 National RV Inspector Association certified RV inspector. Here's an opportunity for you to have your own little career, your own little business that you can maintain. And we've got guys out there that are, I don't know, I've just been amazed at some of the stories that guys tell me. Say, well, I've got this one consignment dealership that he's my client. I go out there and do my work. Now, as a sidebar, I've been amazed at how many of these inspectors have taken these skills and are maybe showing up at dealerships and maybe doing an inspection. The dealer pulls them aside and say, hey, I want to talk to you. You did the inspection, helped us sell it, kind of took care of some of the questions, helped us find the problems that need to be resolved. Would you be able to come out here on Saturdays and maybe do walkthroughs with our customers and coach them and show them how things work? And we've seen that as an opportunity. It's like, never saw that one coming. Okay. So there's opportunities for folks in all different areas of this experience once you get the knowledge, once you get the experience and the hands-on learning. So they come and spend 5 days with you. What do they need to do so that way when they complete whatever it is that you have, what are the final things you ask of them so you can say, you're ready to go?
Okay. Once they leave the 5-day class on Friday, following that week, they have 2 more weeks. They still have some things that they need to do. So they're not done with me yet. They still have 2 more weeks of me. So they're going to do 1 full mock inspection here at the Texan RV Park, the RV Training Academy. And then after that, they're going to go out on their own and find another one. So if they did a motorhome here, they're going to go do a towable unit wherever they can find one. It might be their own, it might be a friend's, family member, something like that. So they're going to do a second full mock inspection. They're also going to be pulling fluids on a vehicle. So we also have the ability as NRVIA certified RV inspectors to pull fluids from the vehicle, oil, engine oil, transmission oil, engine coolant, generator coolant, hydraulic oil.
That's true.
There's hydronic heating systems that have coolant in there. We can pull that out and we send it off to a lab and we have that evaluated. Now what does that tell us? Well, in my experience, as well as with our provider, JG Lubricant Services, we've discovered that 60% of samples of all those, 60% have abnormal to critical issues that are concerning and certainly very interesting information in the RV inspection process. You know,
True.
Somebody that's buying that RV, they're going to want to know if that thing is 10 years old and it's got 5,000 miles on it, we want to check those fluids. We
That's
want to
right.
know, because especially with a diesel pusher, non-use, lack of use can be worse than a lot of use.
That's so true.
So we need to find out
Yes.
what's in that oil. The RVs that are down in Houston, that went through the floods and all that, how about those guys? How are we gonna know
That's
that
right.
some of these units that have been in flood, how are we gonna find that out? Well, that transmission is at that lowest point. So if we pull that transmission fluid out of there and it's got water in it, what do you think?
Yeah.
Okay, it's possible. So,
Guys, it's a blood test. It tells things. You know, many times people say, well, how are you going to check that engine? Are you going to disassemble things? No. For years, the military and the aviation industry has used fluid analysis to tell them what's going on inside these engines and these different components. And these guys do the exact same thing. When they pull the fluid, it tells them what's going on inside. So here again, join us. Become part of an industry that is growing and expanding. Because let me just tell you, we figured that we need well in excess of 1,800 inspectors across the country. 1,800. And you know what? There's people coming into the industry, people leaving. So there's a ton of opportunity for you. So come join us. Become a National RV Inspector Association certified RV inspector. So that way you can move into another career. Do something that you enjoy doing, and it'd be your business that you can take care of you and your family. Again, this is Terry Cooper, and we have Howard Jarvis with us. And we want to thank you for spending time with us. We'll hope to see you in Athens, Texas, at the National RV Training Academy, where you can make a career for yourself.